Hello, what's up, and welcome back to day 2 of Token2049 Singapore. I'm Adel, the host, and today I've got a special guest with me from Venezuela who's going to introduce himself about what he's building in the Web3 space. I want to hand the mic to you. Over to you.
Thanks so much. My name is Mauricio. I am the co-founder and chief sales officer at Ledn. Ledn is a very simple business. We let you use your Bitcoin as collateral to get a loan without having to sell it. Very similar to how you borrow from your house.
Oh wow!
And you borrow and you take a loan to buy a car. Basically, Bitcoin lets you do the same thing. You put it as collateral with us. We give you the dollars you need for however long you need them. When you repay the dollars, you release the Bitcoin. It comes back to you. We also offer other services, so you can use your Bitcoin to earn interest with us. So we take that Bitcoin, we lend it out to market makers that are essentially making markets that are on the ETFs versus spot, and they pay us an interest, which we then turn around and pay to you. So you can use your Bitcoin to get dollar liquidity. You can use your Bitcoin to generate passive income. We also have other products like dual cryptocurrency notes, but what people know us for primarily, as the name suggests, is lending. So borrow from us or lend to us, all things lending. So at Ledn, we love the saying, the best restaurants have the smallest menus. So we do one or a few things and we do them better than anyone else. So that's Ledn in a nutshell.
Oh wow! It's very, very wholesome. I want to know about your upbringing in Venezuela and how you came up with the idea to launch this in the first place.
So I'm born and raised in Venezuela. I got into Bitcoin because my family found it. My youngest brother actually was the first one of us to start mining, and he started mining in the middle of a very hostile economic environment when we were down there. He very quickly learned that mining Bitcoin was a great business in Venezuela in particular, because no other business idea was really able to thrive because of the capital controls and all the negative things that the government was doing. So very quickly, he and other people started, when they discovered Bitcoin mining, they went fully into it. Right. And Venezuela had this sort of explosion of mining activity, and among that, or by doing so, by building our own mines, we were making Bitcoin, and we had fiat expenses. We wanted to keep growing our mines because the mines were doing very well, but at the time, the only way to grow the mines was to use the Bitcoin to buy more equipment. And when you did that, the equipment, Bitmain had like 9-month delivery timelines. So you basically gave up the Bitcoin and you gave up all of the upside on your Bitcoin. By the time the machines arrived, the difficulty was way higher. They were, yielding a lot less, and you had missed out on the entire rise of Bitcoin. So what we really wanted was someone to give us a loan backed by the Bitcoin, right, so we can use that to buy equipment. So we did that, or I helped many people set up mines and had the same issue. And then eventually, when the regime in Venezuela raided our facilities, we had to basically find a new home for all of our machines.
Wait, why did they raid your facilities?
Because the Venezuelan regime raids anything that is wholesome and works.
Wow.
And we can get into that, but effectively myself and any other miner that was in Venezuela had to exit. And we came to Canada and set up machines in Canada, or mines in Canada. We did our first mine there, a pilot test. And we learned that the miners everywhere in the world had the same issue. Nobody wanted to sell their Bitcoin, but everybody wanted to grow their mines.
Right.
So everybody needed a loan. And we went to banks, and we asked banks to give us a loan. They said to us that Bitcoin was not an asset.
Yes.
They laughed us out of the room. And by the third time that happened, my business partner and I looked at each other and we said, well, let's build it. And we built Canada's first Bitcoin-backed loan, issued it in 2018. And from there, we realized that Bitcoin is a global asset. We could issue a loan to a Canadian in the same way we could issue a loan to a Colombian, in the same way we could issue a loan to someone in Spain or anywhere in the world, because Bitcoin was the great equalizer. Your Bitcoin is not Canadian or Colombian or American. Your Bitcoin is Bitcoin. And it allowed us to treat everyone around the world the same, because It was the same risk structure. We had the collateral, which was the same from anyone, regardless of where they lived, and everyone could use the dollars. So the structure was the same regardless of where you were lending into. And so we started expanding Ledn internationally, starting with Latin America, where we were very familiar with the market and the need. So basically we bypassed, we went from Canada to South America, kind of bypassing the US, because a lot of big players were in the US, like BlockFi, Celsius, etc. And so for a long time, we were operating in Canada, Latin America, some parts of Europe, slowly expanding into the rest of the world. And then suddenly in 2022, all the big US players collapsed.
Wow.
And now US has become our biggest market. And so right now we operate in over 125 countries.
Wow.
And yeah, we processed this year alone over 1.16 billion. That was the Q2 number. It's higher than that now.
Okay, so I'm curious for the audience, and for the average Joe, the average retailer who wants to get a loan backed by Bitcoin, what's the best way they can do that using your platform?
They can come to Ledn, Ledn.io, create an account. We are a regulated company, so you do have to do KYC.
Of course. Regulated by who?
By the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority. So we are a virtual asset service provider under the Cayman Island Monetary Authority. CIMA, yeah. And so you have to pass KYC, but once you do that, you can apply for a loan. It takes 2 minutes. When the loan is approved, you can send the Bitcoin, and typically you get the dollars you need within 24 hours of your loan application.
24 hours?
Yeah, or less.
Wow, and the loan value is dependent on how much collateral you put in?
Correct, so you 50%? Can borrow up to 50% of the value of your Bitcoin.
Got it,
And the loan sizes can be anywhere from $500 to $2 million,
of course,
depending on what you need.
All right, amazing. Mauricio, I really appreciate your time. Very insightful, very insightful. Thank you so much. We have to get you on a podcast at some point to talk on a more in-depth basis about your history, your upbringing, but we'll leave that for next time.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Mauricio, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll leave all the links in the description to both Mauricio's profile and his company, Ledn. Do check those out. Really cool alpha happening here. But for now, thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.